Hi guys, in today's video we're continuing learning the functionality of GoodCrypto with TradingView Webhooks, and we're gonna look at how to use TradingView Webhooks to trade with DCA bot or DCA trading algorithm on GoodCrypto. So this video assumes that you know what webhooks are and the basic principles of how they work with GoodCrypto. If not, I want to refer you to a previous video in the same playlist, which is called Trading with TradingView Webhooks. There, in a nutshell, everything's explained. So let's get started then. Okay, so trading with webhooks or trading new webhooks with DCA trading algo on GoodCrypto. So obviously the most important functionality is the ability to trigger the DCA to enter its position with a webhook coming from TradingView. Okay, and basically important thing to understand here is that whereas in manual or T signal mode in DCA you explicitly tell the algo beforehand which positions to open, right? In manual by selecting buy or sell order, and in T signal by basically selecting this buy or sell signals. With TradingView Webhook, all you need to do is basically to specify that you want your DCA to enter using TradingView Webhook. Then the same setup is both for if you want to trade just long with DCA, so just use entry buy orders, or just short, use enter sell orders, or both, right? Depending on the market condition. Whatever you want to do with DCA, if you want to trigger the entry order with a hook, all you need to do is specify the entry condition as a trading webhook. Okay, so in this case, for example, I have here on my screen one technical indicator, which is Bollinger Bands, and just for the sake of illustration, we'll look at how would you trade with Bollinger Bands with DCA. So okay, so I've specified that the entry condition for DCA is TradingView Webhook. Then let's say I've set up everything else. I'll just leave them the defaults as they are. Doesn't matter that much for the sake of this video. And let's launch our DCA. Again, remember, if you watched our previous videos, so you would know that you first need to basically set up an order or an algorithm in GoodCrypto and launch it. Once you launched it, then the next step is setting up the trading alert in TradingView and inserting the webhook URL. So the step one is creating an order, or in our case, a trading algorithm, and launching it in GoodCrypto. So we've created this DCA algo with TradingView Webhook as an entry condition. You've selected all other settings and you just launch it, right? Okay, now you launch it. We go to order details. What do we see here? We see that the algorithm didn't enter. It's waiting for the webhook, right? That's the current state of the algorithm. So until webhook arrives, it will stay idle. And now we go here in the webhook section, same way as with regular or manual orders. And sorry, that's the I. Once you open that section, you see here there are 4 webhooks available, right? Enter buy, which basically when received, their DCA will create an entry buy order or send entry buy order. Enter sell. If DCA receives this webhook, it will send an enter sell order. And there are also those 2 webhooks, enter buy and enter sell. They appear whenever you select TradingView Webhook as an entry condition, as we've done previously. Those 2 webhooks and current iteration and cancel, they are always here, always available for all the DCAs, even for the ones that are launched with a manual entry order or entry positions based on TA signals, right? What do they do? So end current iteration, basically it ends current iteration, does the same as this button here, this shortcut. It's called next iteration. If you never used it, I encourage you to learn what it is and use it actually. So what it will do, it will, if this webhook is received or this basically button launched, actually we can press the button here and see what it does. Okay, it's not, I cannot press the button because it's idle, right? There is no iteration to end, but basically when you press this button, there will be, and if the algorithm is running, you'll see a information screen where you learn that if this webhook is received or this button is pressed, the DCA will close its existing position regardless of where in the cycle it is right now, whether it just didn't open any orders or just open one order, or it's all the way through all divergent orders. So we'll just close the position and move to the next iteration, right? So if it's basically if it doesn't repeat, it will stop. If it repeats, it will close the current position and wait for the next entry signal, whether it's a TA signal or TradingView webhook in our case. So that's what does with the webhook of end current iteration does. And cancel webhook obviously does what the same thing it does with normal orders. It basically cancels or stops in our case the algorithm. So in many ways it does the same as the current iteration. The only difference is that if you have repeat on take profit option enabled, so your DCA is supposed to run multiple iterations. So end current iteration will just end current iteration and move to the next one, whereas cancel will stop it completely. So there's a difference between two of those. Anyway, now we have four webhooks available, and obviously we want to set up the entry orders, right? So what do we do here? So first, what we do is copy the webhook URL address. Just quickly remember that this DCA will be waiting for a webhook to be received at a certain address to understand which action it needs to perform. So if the webhook is received to this address, right? So basically that says, basically it's webhooks in GoodCrypto app. This is the unique identifier of this particular DCA, right? So it's unique for each and every order and algorithm. So that's basically tells the system that this webhook is related to this particular algorithm, and then direction is activated by it, right? So if webhook is received at this address from TradingView servers, it will enter buy position. If webhook is received to this address, it will enter a sell position, and so on and so forth. I'll just repeat what I've just said. Important thing to understand. So for the security reasons, and it's written here as well, webhooks will be only accepted from TradingView servers, right? So it doesn't mean that someone can just send, a webhook to this address and trigger your order. First and foremost, it needs to know their exact identifier, which is unique for each order. But even if somehow were to guess it, it won't work because we only accept webhooks from TradingView servers exactly for their security reasons, so that no one will be able to trigger or otherwise tamper with your orders or algorithms for you. Okay, so let's go. So we are setting up the buy condition. We understand that the webhook needs to be delivered to this address. So all we need to do is to copy this address, right? So it's we copied it. It's now, this address is now in our buffer. Let's now switch to TradingView. I'll just switch tabs very quickly. That's TradingView. I have here the same ETH/USDT perpetual contract on Bybit with the same 15 minutes candles that we've had previously. Obviously, I already set it up. We'll also have this Bollinger Bands as the only indicator on the screen here. So remember, we're setting up an alert to buy order. So we create an alert in TradingView, right? So we say the condition is the price of ETH/USDT is whenever it's crossing up, it's crossing the Bollinger Band's upper border. That's what we want to do, right? So I'll just close it and explain what we're trying to achieve. Whenever the price, say, crosses the upper border, for example, here, there's the upper border of Bollinger Bands. Whenever the price crosses up, that's a buy signal, right? So that's what we are doing. So again, price is crossing up the upper Bollinger Band, and I want to receive this maybe once per bar. We can also do once per minute, but for me, just to know not overload the system, I will do once per bar. Remember that if you already watched our previous video, you know that you don't have to do anything here. So, in other words, you can actually give it this alert any name and input here any message you want. It doesn't affect how this alert will work with webhooks, with DCA and GoodCrypto. If you're receiving this alert, to your email or to your TradingView app or wherever else with your browser, you can, use these fields to deliver that message. For example, you can write here that that's what happened. Then that's the buy signal for GoodCrypto DCA, for example. So you will understand what's going on here. But what we need to do now to finish this setting up, we'll just go to these notifications here thingy, and I already have my webhook URL turned on. By default, it's off, right? So if you're setting up the alert TradingView for the first time, webhooks, it will be off. So you will need to turn it on, and then there will be here the last remembered URL address for the webhooks, but that's not the one you need. So remember that each action for each order has its own unique webhook URL in GoodCrypto. So I'll just erase that, and I input from the buffer the address, webhook URL address that we just copied. Remember, the webhooks at GoodCrypto app, that's your DCA, and we want to buy this. Okay, so now once I click create, that's it. It's already done here. So whenever this alert fires, my DCA in GoodCrypto will buy, right? So let's go back to GoodCrypto. So we've just inputted this webhook to TradingView alert. So whenever that webhook will be received, whenever that alert in TradingView fires, this DCA will open a long position or send an enter buy order. Okay, with the same way, I want this DCA to run both long and short positions depending on the market. That's the most efficient way to DCA to profit with DCA, and that's why it's so good. So you don't really care which direction the market is going as long as you are right. So you profit from both up and down movements. So now we basically need to set up the same alert or similar alert and input the address to which the webhook should be sent for the DCA to enter the sell order. So I'll copy this webhook URL here. You see here that's for the sell action, and I'll go back to TradingView and I create another alert. So now what I want to do is to catch the moments when the price goes lower than the lower Bollinger Band, and that's basically right. That's one when I want to sell. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm creating an alert where the price is crossing down Bollinger Bands, and specifically the lower band of the Bollinger Bands. And again, I want to get it once per bar. And again, alert name and message, they're customary. I can do with them whatever I want. But important thing to go to notifications. Now the webhook URL is turned on already, and you can see here that's my last used webhook here. That's for activate buy, right? For previous webhook URL that we use. So I'll just delete that and input the new one, right? So that's for activate sell. Create. That's it. Now I have here two alerts, right? So when the first one is fired, this is the crossing up the buy signal will be sent to DCA, and if this one is fired, then the sell signal will be sent to DCA. So let's go back to GoodCrypto. Obviously, the question is, probably you're asking, is what happens if, for example, the algorithm entered the buy position, it is in a long position, and maybe several leveraging orders executed, and at this very moment enter sell arrives. What will happen? Basically, the algo will just ignore it, right? So now it's waiting for webhook, so it will only enter position obviously when it's waiting for webhook. So for example, if now buy webhook arrives, it will enter buy position, and their sell signals can arrive multiple times while it's in a long position. It will disregard them. However, once it closes its long position, once it goes back to the waiting for webhook idle state, the next webhook to arrive, whether it will be another buy or sell, so the first one to arrive, so it will enter the corresponding position, and so on and so forth, basically, right? Okay, so that's in a nutshell how you trade with TradingView Webhooks with DCA trading algorithm in GoodCrypto. Let's recap what we've said. There are 4 possible actions that you can use webhooks for with DCA in GoodCrypto. First, to enter long position. Second, to enter short position. Third, to end current iteration of the algorithm. And fourth, to cancel or stop the algorithm, right? And so again, out of those 4 actions, webhook URLs for 2 or webhook actions for 2 of those things, and current iteration and cancel, are available for any and all DCAs run in GoodCrypto. So once you've created any DCA with any enter condition, you will have the ability to add, send, and current iteration webhook or cancel webhook. If you want your DCA to use webhooks to enter its position, whether long or short, what you need to do is to, when setting it up on their setup form of the DCA, here in the enter condition field, choose the trading webhook, TradingView webhook. Right, so that's pretty much it. What other open questions you might have? So first, I understand that the rest of the functionality of DCA stays exactly the same, whether you're using manual or TA signal or webhook as an entry condition. For example, you can use TradingView webhook and still choose an entry order type. So right, so after TradingView webhook is received, a market signal, a market can be placed, or a limit order can be placed, or a trading stop can be placed. For example, I don't know, you can use the limit order with the Bollinger Bands that I previously mentioned, just to kind of, and set the limit at, say, at 1% of the market price at that moment, just to make sure that there is information of the move, right? So we just because you will receive the alert exactly when the price crosses the Bollinger Band. But if you want, another 1% of certainty, so to say, you can use limit here, or trailing stop for that matter, right? So anyway, so that's one. Second, I already said it, but remember that we only accept TradingView webhooks from TradingView servers. So only alerts created in TradingView can be used to send webhooks, or will work webhooks in GoodCrypto. Okay, that's pretty much it for today. So again, in our previous video, we looked at what webhooks are, and we looked at all the manual order types and how webhooks can be used with them. And this video covers DCA algorithm, and our next video in this section will cover webhooks and grid algorithm. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy trading with GoodCrypto.